Hey everyone, it's Paul with your Bold Profits Daily. Today I want to tell you about an unbelievable, a phenomenal investment opportunity that is unfolding right now like a lollapalooza. In other words, so many different things happening all at the same time that they all start to affect each other, where it's kind of like a big snowball that is just gathering more and more power and more mass. And for us, that means big and then bigger and even bigger gains that you can get. And I'm going to tell you how you can get in on this huge thing that's going on. So you know that I talk a lot about the Internet of Things, and many of you, that's the way you've gotten to know me. You subscribe to Profits Unlimited, you bought that little stock that makes a sensor that I had on my fingertip, and you've made a lot of money. And then I've told you about stocks in artificial intelligence and blockchain and robotics and new energy and the rise of the millennial generation. And so I'm going to tell you that right now, there is really something going on where all of these megatrends, which were sort of largely in the areas of technology, in other words, to actually get the benefit of it, you actually have to own technology stocks, is now sort of gravitating from the outside and now starting to affect all the parts of the US economy and all the parts of the US markets. And so this is going to be an enormous, phenomenal, astonishing development, one that we have largely not seen for nearly 20 years. And there's really three ways, and I've given these stocks to you before, that you can get in on this. And that is to be invested in three parts of the market, which is to get this shifting from of where technology and software and the Internet of Things and blockchain and artificial intelligence and robotics, where it's all just a technology development, and now it enters all parts of our lives. For that, if you own these three stocks, and they have the acronym of SIX, S-I-X. And so what's in SIX? Well, the number one thing gets you into the Internet of Things, which is really both a combination of big data and artificial intelligence. Because what is the Internet of Things ultimately? It is where it's a sensor, it's a chip that accumulates data, then it sorts itself out, creates information out of it, and then it affects the primary thing. In other words, it helps run something better, more efficiently, more cheaper. And the number one way still to get in on this is to own SMH, which is the VanEck Semiconductors ETF. And you know, if you've been following me, that I've been recommending this for a very long time. There's been ups and downs. I believe that the VanEck Semiconductors ETF, we've bought it for huge gains in the past, and I believe that it is still the best way, other than owning single stocks, of getting into this big lollapalooza, big thing, which if you go and look at it, people call it manufacturing 4.0 or the new industrial revolution. There's a lot of different things that people talk about, but that's one way to do it. The second way to do it is to buy into the housing boom that is going on. Because one of the reasons why all of these things are being transmitted from the edge to the middle parts of our economy, to the middle parts of our country even, if you will, is because of the rise of the millennial generation, which is now the majority of people taking mortgages, the majority of so many activities that comprise our economy, our society, and what we do. And the single best way you can get exposure to what this generation is doing, the economic activity that they're generating, is through housing. And which is why I've been telling you for some time, almost as long as telling you to buy the VanEck Semiconductors ETF, to buy the iShares Housing ETF, which has the ticker symbol ITB. And that's to get you exposure to the millennial generation. And the third one is really one that I started talking about a long time ago because of what President Trump campaigned on in 2016, which is renewing our infrastructure. And I felt that these companies were going to be critical to it. Now it's taken a little bit of time for some of this to pan out. However, the basic idea, I believe, was still right. And that is through the industrial sector. And the industrial sector, well, they make all of the things that make things. So when you think about houses and you think about the hundreds, if not thousands, maybe millions of things that go into houses, everything from nuts and bolts to pipes and wires and all of these things, well, that's the industrial sector. And just imagine if you can bring all the efficiencies of all the megatrends, the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, robotics, and apply it to the industrial sector to make things work better, cheaper, more efficiently. Now what you really have is what I've been referring to, which is this Lollapalooza effect that leads to manufacturing 4.0, I believe it's called, on the internet, or a new industrial revolution where the way we make things, the way we bring things for humans to use completely changes. And that means using new technologies like 3D printing and so many other things. The way to get exposure to that is through the Industrials ETF, which has the ticker symbol XLI. So that's how you get SIX, SIX6. Now, if you want the best stocks, ETFs are stocks that are filled with other stocks. There's usually anywhere between 30 to 50 of them, and you get wide exposure to the entire industry. However, if you want the stocks that are going to go up fastest, have the highest growth rates, generate the biggest gains, you've got to go in the individual stocks. And that's what I focus on in my Profits Unlimited service. This is my flagship service with over 100,000 people in it. We focus on large cap stocks, focusing like laser focused on these mega trends, and now laser focused on delivering huge gains based on this Lollapalooza effect of all these mega trends coming together. So I would tell you, if you like what you're seeing on this channel, please subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and let me know, have you invested already in the VanEck Semiconductors ETF or the iShares Home Builders ETF or the Industrials ETF from my previous videos? Have you made money? And are you going to get into SIX, which is the acronym for these three ETFs, anytime soon? So let me know, and I'll have another one of these for you next week. Oh, almost forgot. I'm also going to be on the Ian Cast, which is Ian, Dyer, and I on Friday. So make sure to check into that. And one last plug. Follow me on Twitter at Mampilly at Mampilly Guru, and where I'm always tweeting on things that are going on, news and trends. All right, that's it for this week. I'll have another one of these for you next week. Until then, this is Paul saying bye.